Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta College athletics. I'm Peter Schuler, and today on Cuesta Sports Monthly, it's all about spring sports. We welcome the Diamond Sports, baseball and softball, but also welcoming emerging women's wrestling before sitting down with Division Chair and former Cuesta athlete Katy Dittmer. First up, it's with baseball with center fielder Ayten Botti and first baseman Tristan Usher. Tristan, Aidan, welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. You guys got a piece of the Western State Conference title. That's got to feel pretty good. And you're getting ready for the playoffs. How are you guys feeling about the team coming back to get a piece of that title and then getting a spot in the playoffs there?
Last year as a redshirt, I watched it, and it was a good feeling. And I knew next year coming in we'd have a good team, and I knew we'd pull through. And it was a good season. We had a great time.
How did it feel to get back on the field this year?
I was great. It sucks when you have to watch from the sidelines, but now I'm on the field. It's the greatest feeling in my life.
Aidan, you had a big kind of change this year. You've moved up to the top of the lineup right now. You're the leadoff guy, and you went from being an infielder to being a center fielder. How's that transition been for you? Seems like you've been really comfortable with that.
Yeah, transition's been good. I've enjoyed center. I think I played a little high school outfield back in the day, so the transition wasn't too difficult for me. I think my build and athletic ability fits pretty well the outfield, so it's been a good switch. I've liked center a lot. Yeah.
How do you feel? Kind of now you're a sophomore, kind of a leader on the team. Did that leadoff spot for you kind of fit that way too?
Yeah, I take a lot of responsibility in that role. Kind of being a table setter type of guy, starting the offense for us. So yeah, that's a role I take seriously, and I'm glad I've been able to make an impact in that spot this year.
Now, as a table setter, you've been feeding this guy a lot this year.
Absolutely.
Well, you've had a great year this year. You redshirted last year. What was that like? Was that kind of tough, just sitting on the sidelines a little bit there?
It was tough, but I just put in the work through the whole year. Grinded with the guys, so it's still like I was a part of the team, so I was still getting the development I needed. But it was good. I benefited from a lot.
Now, do you think of yourself, are you a pitcher that hits or a hitter that pitches, or you just do both?
At this point in time, I'm a hitter that pitches, I'd say. My pitching hasn't been as great, but my hitting has improved significantly.
Now, taking over at first base, you have really. I've seen your progress there. The glove, you kind of catch everything right now. You're a good. You feeling really comfortable over there at first base?
Yeah, I played it pretty much all through high school. Going into college, I knew it's where I'm going to play.
Okay, so you're a first baseman pitcher, rather. Okay. Now, both of you guys came from out of the area, and that's always a little different coming back here. You're coming from Vermont, New Hampshire, New England area. What was the thing that brought you out here?
It was actually a guy who was on the team last year, Jack Clothier. I met him at at Trinity College in Connecticut, where I began my college career. And he had a connection to Coach Miller through a former player. And both of us wanted to go the junior college route and decided to come out here to Cuesta. And it's been an unbelievable experience, and I've loved the program, and been a great change.
What's kind of been the big change for you from New England baseball to California baseball?
I'd say the weather first and foremost is a big change.
That's fair.
We go from playing in 30, 40 degrees in March and April to here we're playing in 60 degrees in January. So that's a big change and makes the whole experience a lot better and a lot easier for us to kind of get out on a daily basis and play all through the year.
Yeah. Now, Tristan, you also came up from a different spot, but not as far. What was the difference there for you? Why did you leave Glendora? Maybe not go to Citrus? Do we have more mountains here? Is that?
Not really specifically of why I didn't go. I just chose to come here. I got reached out to by Scotty Scott. He's not here anymore, but
right.
He told me to come out. I came out, watched the program. Looked like a really complete program. Looked like a good group of guys. So I decided to travel a little bit, come out here, and it's probably one of the greatest decisions I've made so far.
What was something, taking that redshirt year, what was something that helped you develop, or is that just what was working for you with the redshirt season there? It has to be tough to watch the team play a whole year.
It is, but just really helped me by fine-tuning my swing a lot, getting all the coaching from Coach Miller and Coach Casey. But yeah, it was great. Even though I got to sit out, I was still hitting my goals, if that makes sense, in the aspects of just getting prepared for the next season because I know I'm going to play.
Are you ready to come back next year, or are you kind of ready to transfer?
We'll
I'm
see.
not
sure yet.
holding you to anything. I just wanted to know where you're at on that.
At the moment, we're not sure.
Okay. So one of the things, just for kind of fun thing, but you are interested in art. Are you an artist?
A little bit. I used to draw a lot in high school. Hasn't really been too much of a hobby of mine recently. I've been pretty occupied, but I did draw a little bit in the past.
Okay. What do you guys think about coming up? Well, I'm going to have just because I want to have a little fun with you guys right now. Do you guys have a Coach Napoli story? It's great to have him back on the athletic department, but I just wanted to see if you guys have a story about him.
He's a great guy. Just spreads a lot of wisdom. I don't really have a specific story, but he shares a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge.
All right. Well, what do you guys feel like the team's doing, getting ready for playoffs right now?
Practicing, just grinding.
Yeah.
We're getting ready, looking at the scouting report. Yeah, just getting ready for that first day.
Kind of next level focus.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Tristan Usher, Ayten Botti, for joining us here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'd like to thank Ayten Botti and Tristan Usher for joining us, and we wish them well in the postseason. Coming up next with Cuesta Sports Monthly, it's softball when Cuesta Sports Monthly returns.
This program is produced by Cuesta Broadcasting. Start your radio, TV, and film career at Cuesta College.
Softballers Danya Boyd and Addison Finegan. Welcome, Danya, Addison.
Thank you.
Season just wrapped up. Kind of a heartbreaking loss at the end, or outcome at the end. You did what you needed to do. Just got a little unlucky with the seeding. How do you guys feel about the season? This is your first year here, Addison. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good season this year. I think we worked really hard. We had a lot of adversity that we faced, but I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I would say overall is super good season. I'm very glad that I decided to play again because I was kind of on the fence about coming back, but overall very glad that I did, and we're super lucky to have some players like Addie, and I think we did a pretty good job this season. It was nice to come out with a winning season, which was good.
I'm going to dig into that a little bit deeper here because you did originally you went straight to Poly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you came back last year to play.
Mm-hmm.
What was that transition like? You took that break and then came back. What was it like being back on the field last year?
Well, actually, it's kind of an interesting story. So I went, like my whole playing collegiate time, I started off playing 2 years in Washington at a junior college, and I ended up, the program ended up closing during COVID time, which allowed me to have all my eligibility back to play for 2 years at Cuesta. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to Cal Poly now, and a junior in academics at Cal Poly, and then sophomore, obviously, at Cuesta this year.
And so softball was just what you wanted to make sure you came out. What was the driving force of you coming out back to Cuesta, kind of being dual enrolled and stuff?
Yeah, honestly, it was last year's shortstop Reese Tartaglia. She's one of my best friends, and I wasn't gonna play last year, and she was like, you should really come out. Cuesta's a great school for softball, and I'm really glad that I did, and lots of credit to her for getting me out here.
You thought you were out, and you got dragged back in.
Yeah, for sure thought I was done, but I'm very glad that I came back, for sure.
Well, we were very glad too. You had a great career. Addison, what brought you out here?
I just love this area. I thought I was going to get recruited out of high school to go play at a 4-year, and I ended up not. So I knew I wanted to keep playing, but I didn't want to stay at home. I'm originally from Fresno, and I wanted to move away, and I just think SLO is such an amazing place to live, and I reached out to Coach, and she recruited me from there. So that's what brought me
I think
here.
there's a lot of refugees from Fresno over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what got you into softball? I mean, you're a tall girl, 5'10". Were you recruited for basketball by the coaches, or
No,
you were always a diamond
I've
player?
always played softball.
Okay.
I started really young with t-ball when I was like 4. My parents put me in t-ball, and then I've just played my whole life. So, yeah.
Were you is your like a baseball family type thing?
Yes, all 3
Okay.
of my brothers play baseball, so we're all definitely baseball, softball people.
All right. And
Yeah.
Danya, well, we can talk a little bit about your family, baseball. Your grandfather's Augie Garrido, the great coach at Cal Poly, Cal State Fullerton, and other places. What was it like? Guy, he seems like he's somebody who's kind of a mentor for you.
Yeah, totally. Definitely grew up around baseball, like when I was young and as a toddler, going to the College World Series and all those fun things was definitely something I do not take for granted. I think coming back to softball, I think about my papa a lot and what he would have said if he were here now, but that was also one of the driving forces for me to come back and play for sure, was just knowing that I'm the one grandkid that did play college softball, college baseball, or softball. So that makes me proud, and I hope my mom too.
All right. So, okay. So none of your
My
uncles-
brother played
Okay.
baseball. He played baseball growing up all the way through high school, but he's really smart, and he's a mechanical engineer who went to Cuesta and then Cal Poly. So
Okay.
he did more academic stuff after high school, but definitely baseball all 4 years. And yeah, baseball was a big part of our family growing up.
All right. Well, you know, we have an absolute local here, but you're coming from Fresno. What was it kind of like in the dugout on the field with these people? You're coming from Fresno. One other kid from Fresno on the team, but basically is 15 of the 16 players are from totally different places. What was that? 'Cause
Yeah.
we talk about that at Cuesta, about how it's a destination college rather than just the local college all the time. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of destination players.
It was really hard for me at first just because I didn't know anyone. I went in on the first day of practice like not knowing anyone, didn't even have one name of people on the team. So it was really hard for me, but all the girls were super welcoming, super nice. I love all my teammates, so that fear quickly went away as the season went on, and I'm really glad to be surrounded by the girls that I was around.
Now, one of the lucky things for softball is you guys have a fall ball. And how much of a difference does that make for you guys? I mean, we talk about the people coming for volleyball. You were coming in and you're learning and everything at the same time. But with softball, you have a time to kind of get that team mending together. Do you guys do a lot of stuff to kind of work together as a team, or is it just skill stuff?
Well, I would say mostly we really just try to hone in on like what it's going to be like for the spring season and replicate that for the fall. And this year we had a really good pitcher in the fall, but unfortunately she ended up not playing with us in the spring. So that was kind of hard, and we had to adjust and bring Addie in to throw a little bit, and Sienna and Shelby was already our pitcher. But so that was kind of rough for us this season, but I think our team, we did a pretty good job adjusting with what we had.
I think being able to play in the fall was very helpful for our spring season because we got to get a feel for how everyone plays differently. We got to move people around. It was really easy. Like when we had girls that ended up leaving, like we could fill in those spots easily. So I think the fall was definitely a benefit for us, and I'm glad we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hope to see you back. I hope you learned something from this one about what to do as a sophomore and leadership and everything like that.
For sure.
So that's going to be great to have you back. Wish you the best on the way. When your next endeavor, what you finish up at Poly?
Cal Poly, yeah.
All right.
Next year is my last year.
Thanks again to Danya Boyd and Addison Finegan. Congratulations to the Cougars on a great season. When we return on Cuesta Sports Monthly, we'll be meeting with wrestling.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communications. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communications.
This is your boy, the DUI. and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't put the boom in the shot. Blown it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
Welcome back to Cuesta Sports Monthly, and we are very pleased to welcome possibly Cuesta's newest sport and women's wrestling. We are joined by All-American Ayten Elbarbary, who is accompanied by our longest-serving head coach on campus, Joe Dansby. Sorry to make you feel a little aged, Joe, but I just realized that you have been the longest-serving coach on campus right now.
I just realized that myself. Thanks.
I know you were going to miss Rusty Blair, but that's a pretty important thing to do.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. Thanks.
But you're also could possibly be the newest coach here, as we may be starting a new sport, or at least we've got the club going here with Ayten and women's wrestling. So I'm going to start with you. Ayten, what inspired you to begin wrestling?
So it was actually through my older sister. She had a friend that did wrestling, and one day she just decided to go to practice with her. And the coach kind of just was like, kind of forced her to get up and warm up with the rest of the team, and I kind of just followed from there after.
All right. Well, what kind of, is it just I'm following and doing what my big sister's doing, or what was the thing that really kind of got you going, like, I want to do that?
No, I actually kind of hated it in the beginning, but it was the team that made me stay, and how like competitive they were and how like supportive, that thing just made me keep going and stay in it.
Glad you did. Joe, you've had women wrestlers before. They've always competed with the men, and occasionally they have an opposite number who is a female wrestling with the men's teams too.
Yes.
What kind of difference does this make for your program to have, both sports now kind of starting to flesh out on both the men's and women's side?
It's a different type of coaching when you're intermixing both genders, trying to keep both sides happy in different ways. But if you look around, especially in this area, women's wrestling, girls wrestling in high school it's flourishing big time. I also coach high school, and we've got over 30 girls in our program. And I know Coach Garza, who was Ayten's coach in high school, they're getting a good number as well. And so it's good for us.
What kind of, do you just, I'm a wrestling coach and this is how it goes, or do you kind of change it around, techniques, mentality, kind of, and the development? Do you kind of,
we have.
Are you putting Ayten through the same rigors as you go doing the guys?
I would think so. She would probably tell you herself, but we try to put them through the same stuff so they're mentally prepared, because it is wrestling. It's a combative sport. However, the women do freestyle, which is a little bit different than folk styles, which what the men do. Right. And that's a big difference for high school girls coming from high school, because they've been doing folk style, and they have to adapt in college to freestyle, which is a big deal for them.
Now, was that a big deal for you?
Well, I actually used to compete freestyle like during off season, so I kind of picked up a little when I came here to Cuesta, so it wasn't as hard to adapt. But after the first couple competitions, I picked up quick.
So what would be your favorite part of wrestling?
Definitely the team bondings and just wrestling in general. I don't know.
Okay, so like the team workouts and stuff like that. Yeah. And you guys kind of all align and realize that Joe was just a big meanie and he's making you guys do stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Joe, what kind of are your expectations for your athletes when you come in for team performances, conduct, and sportsmanship? Do you have kind of we've seen at state championships and stuff like that those real tough competitions, can get emotional, and how do you kind of guide your guys? I never see that much from Cuesta guys, but how do you keep people from taking that, being pinned or getting a penalty against them, not taking it personally? How do you keep that stoicism that you need to have?
It's very tough
wrestling?
not to take things personally in wrestling because it is one-on-one. I think I would hope my wrestlers, whether what weight class, whether we win a lot or they don't win a lot, that they know that I'm behind them. And I think when the wrestlers know that their coaches are behind them and we're offering strong and tough practices for them and trying to help them develop, that they realize, the coach is behind me, they care about me, I'm going to give them the best effort that I got for themselves and for us as coaches. And then the team comes into play too, as well.
Yeah, so you kind of take it from being an individual sport and make it more of a
It's very individual, but it's a very big team concept, and I think that's why we did so well this year. Our team is really close.
Okay, and what do you think about wrestling's growing role with women? You think that's good? Would you encourage more women to get into it?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's getting more competitive and harder, but also more enjoyable, I think.
Do you have a preparation? Do you have before pre-match or something like that to kind of get you ready for?
I think just staying more around people and just joking around, messing around, trying to forget and not stress too much or think about my match too much.
I'm going to give you the last two questions here. What advice would you give an aspiring wrestler? And what lessons have you learned through wrestling?
I learned a lot about managing my body weight. I learned a lot about my body in general, especially like moving into college, it does change a lot. So I learned how to manage that, learned how to be patient with myself and not go too hard and just enjoy the sport.
Well, that's good advice. Thank you, Joe Dansby. Thank you, Ayten Elbarbary, for joining us here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we return, it'll be with Division Chair Katy Dittmer.
This program is produced by Cuesta Broadcasting. Start your radio, TV, and film career at Cuesta College.
Our final guest of the season is former all-conference tennis player and current division chair of athletics, Katy Dittmer. Katy, welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Welcome to Cuesta, back to Cuesta Athletics. How are you enjoying I hope you're enjoying, but how are you feeling moving into our division this year?
It's been really exciting, actually, and I had my old tennis coach come and visit me after 30 years, so that was exciting.
What was it like? He's a former faculty member. He's emeritus now. He's got special standing, and he's with baseball. Coach Mike Napoli. What's it been like? What has changed in your relationship between being a student athlete and the player, and 10 years, 15 years since then?
Yeah, a little bit of time, right.
Since you come back as, as a division chair of the department he's in.
Well, I would say there's a lot less pressure, but I guess there's a different kind of pressure. I do feel that, I'm in the psychology department at Cuesta, so I don't teach in this division, but I was an athlete. That really has helped me, I think, to sort of integrate into the division, is just that they know I was one of them. But it's less pressure to not be an athlete who's trying to make state or to perform for your coach, to be friends and to just, reminisce about. And of course, when we reminisce, we always think of it in this really, sometimes nice way.
Yes. I understand you now a little bit better. Is that kind of? So, from your time as an athlete, what were some of those kind of especially tennis where you have you did have a partner
Yeah.
in doubles and singles and stuff like that, so you did have to collaborate a lot rather than just being one-on-one against somebody else. What are the lessons you have learned and can apply to what you do now from athletics?
Well, I think what I learned about myself, I'm a pretty confident person in general, but playing competitive sports, tennis in particular, even though I was playing doubles, it was a much nicer situation, but when you were playing singles, you really you feel like you're on your own in a sense, and I choked a lot playing tennis, so I found it pretty overwhelming, and so I learned, something new about myself, that I, have things to work on in terms of, managing the pressure of a situation like that, and that was challenging for me to get through that, and I don't know if I ever fully got through the what is it, the yips or whatever it's called, when you sort of choke. So that was challenging, but yeah, I think one of the things about tennis is that both, you do operate as a team, but you also compete against each other for your place, and so it's, trying to manage the difficulties of that, where you're both, working together, but working against each other as well.
And trying to improve each other, but also trying to tear that person down.
So that you can get their place. So tennis is challenging.
But then again, that person might end up being your doubles partner.
That same person might be your doubles partner. Yeah, exactly.
So you felt more comfortable working in concert with someone else in doubles, or?
Absolutely, it took a lot of the pressure off. It just wasn't all on me. Just having that little bit of break where, it's challenging when people, it's just all eyes on you when you're going for a serve, or you're. I got called on foot vaulting when I was a player, when I would serve. So I had a line judge that would sit right on the line the entire time, and you've got this person just stare. Just the pressure was a lot, for sure.
Now, we talk about so much about what you gain out of athletics, and you talk about, the pressure and all those things. What do you think is the best thing you got out of athletics? I mean, not that you necessarily apply tennis rules to life, but what's kind of the ability to bounce back? Or
the ability to bounce back, and just the benefit of hard work, that you just, to get back out there, to train, to, just constantly be improving and never being sort of, I've figured it out, because I don't think that really ever happens in anything that we do. I've been here now at Cuesta for 23 years as a faculty member, and I don't feel like I figured it out either. So I think it's similar in that you never really are done, and I think most athletes would say that too.
Yeah, that's true. Athletes for life, competitors for life, right? Well, now in the role of faculty and now as division chair, what are some of the things, especially coming over to athletics, that have kind of changed for you, or it's a different group, because we have athletics, we have people, we have adjuncts, we have that. Is that kind of staying the course from where you were before, or is that it's kind of a different animal?
It's a very different animal. Just to be involved in scheduling preseason and to be, it's a lot more exciting what's happening in athletics than in many other areas, because there's competition, there's highs and lows that are occurring. There's always something new. Every week is something new happening. Whereas I think across campus things are pretty routine. People, you teach the same class, you've done, there's a lot more consistency, but that doesn't happen in athletics.
Well, I think they're used to win some, lose some type thing. Yeah. And that's kind of part of the roll with the punches type thing. So, now that you're over here and you're kind of overseeing athletics, the last final question, but what do you see? Like, one of the things that's changed since the pandemic is the amount of full-time faculty over there in athletics. What do you see as pluses and minuses of having part-time coaches?
Well, they're part-time coaches, part-time faculty, but they're head coaches too. And so there's a huge responsibility to be a head coach, and for that to be a part-time position is a challenge. They are traveling, a lot, and on the weekends they're working, and they're who I see in the offices all day long, more so than I see most full-time faculty. And so I think it's challenging for them for that to be a part-time. We should have more full-time positions for our coaches.
Okay, that's the answer I wanted. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Questa's Division Chair of Athletics and Kinesiology, Katy Neidhart.
Ooh,
Katy,
that is,
you have to slip.
I
Katy,
take it
Katy
still.
Dittmer. Thank you very much for joining us. It concludes this episode of Cuesta College and this season of Cuesta College, Cuesta Sports Monthly. Today's guests, Katy Dittmer, Ayten Elbarbary, Joe Dansby, Danya Boyd, Addison Finegan, Tristan Usher, and Aidan Botti. Remember, stay up to date with your Cougars. Visit the Cuesta Athletic website at cuestaathletics.com. This show is produced at Cuesta College by the Cuesta Film, Television, and Electronic Media Department. This is the 15th year of the Cuesta TV project, and we hope you will join us next fall for the 16th year. I'm Peter Schuler. For all of us here at Cuesta College, thank you for joining us, and thanks for watching Cuesta Sports Monthly, and thank you for your support of Cuesta Athletics.